Hi, fourth grade friends. Mrs. Potter here, and I put together a bag of artifacts for the social studies project. My artifacts are on Kansas. Your artifacts will be on a different region of the United States. I did Kansas because it's something we're all familiar with, and so here we go. So for this project, you had a couple options. One option was to create a collage, and Miss Walterman did a demonstration on that. Another option is to do some research on the topics in your project description and put a bag of artifacts together, and that's what I've done. So I'm going to go through those artifacts with you. Just a reminder, these are artifacts that you can make, you can find around your home, you can print some off of a computer. Just use your imagination and do what works for you while we're doing this project online. So you don't need to go out and buy anything new for this. Just use your imagination. I'm sure you can come up with something great. So here I have my note cards, and I wrote down notes on each topic. So first topic I'm going to talk about is major industry, and in Kansas that is agriculture. As you may know, since you already studied Kansas, Kansas is one of the biggest producers in the United States of wheat, corn, and cattle. And in my artifact bag, I have a lot of stuff. I have a little cow. This is a puzzle piece I found from one of my kids' puzzle, and I chose a cow since Kansas is a really big producer of beef, which comes from cattle. All right, so my next artifact is a stick. Why do I have a stick, you ask? Because I learned something very new about Kansas, and that is that there's a place called the Baldwin Woods, and this is a natural landmark in Kansas. And I'm going to read what I have on my note card. The Baldwin Woods Forest Preserve is a 450-acre area of protected forest that has been identified as a national natural landmark. So I think that's pretty cool that that's here in Baldwin. This area is special because it contains several species of rare plants, 2 threatened snake species, and 2 bird species that are of concern right now. This piece of land is also a really neat mix of high quality forest, restored prairie, so that's like natural prairie grasses, and riparian habitat. Riparian, what is that word? I didn't even know this, so I looked it up. Riparian habitat is a special type of habitat found along rivers and streams. So my stick here I found in my yard, and this represents the natural landmark of the Baldwin Forest. Next, I have a gorilla. Why do I have a gorilla? Because there is a zoo in Kansas that is one of the most popular tourism sites. The Rolling Hills Zoo is a 65-acre zoo in Salina, Kansas. It has over 100 species of animals. It also has a large museum dedicated to teaching visitors about animals, nature, and biomes from all over the world. So my gorilla represents the Salina Zoo. Next, I have, what could this be? A natural resource, maybe. I have water. Probably didn't think of water being a natural resource. I know that wasn't the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking of natural resources in Kansas. But water is very important for many reasons. Obviously, we drink it. Eastern Kansas has many rivers and creeks and a few lakes. Western Kansas has aquifers, which are little bits of water underneath the ground. The water in Kansas is used for drinking, crop irrigation, and fishing. Back when settlers just started coming to Kansas, many of them settled along rivers and creeks because they needed regular access to water. All right, my last one is my favorite, and this is also something new that I learned when I was doing this project. Here I have a poem that I printed from my computer. And if you don't have a printer, feel free to draw or write something down. This poem is titled Eventide. And this was written by a 13-year-old girl many, many years ago. Her name is Gwendolyn Brooks, and I'll tell you why she's important to Kansas. Here's the poem. When the sun sinks behind the mountains, and the sky is besprinkled with color, and the neighboring brook is peacefully still with a gentle, silent ripple now and then, when flowers send forth sweet odors, and the grass is uncommonly green, when the air is tranquilly sweet, and children flock to their mother's sides, then worries flee and comfort presides, for all know it, welcoming evening. I thought that was a really beautiful poem. Remember, a 13-year-old girl wrote this, and her name was Gwendolyn Brooks, and she is a famous Kansan that I have never heard of, and I'm so glad I learned about her. I'm going to tell you about Gwendolyn. So she was the first African American to win a Pulitzer Prize. And a Pulitzer Prize is a prestigious award that is given for authors and people who compose music for their achievements. So in writing books or poems or music. Gwendolyn Brooks was born in Topeka, Kansas on June 7th, 1917. She won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 1950. Along with being a poetry writer, she was also an author and a teacher. So those are my 5 artifacts. Like I said, feel free to be creative, gather them from around your house, outside your house, and most of all, have so much fun doing this project. If you have any questions, contact Miss Walterman, or if you're in her class, my class, contact me, Mr. Hoffman's class, contact your teacher, and so on. Bye, guys!